at Dodger Stadium. Congrats.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys. These are the moments you live for, right? And so I was very excited to get the ball tonight. Like we were just saying, if I look at my outing objectively, I would have loved to go a little bit longer, but all that matters is a victory and getting the series back even. Excited for tomorrow.
I want to talk to you about delivering in a night like tonight. We just talked about you pitching, and it's a breath of fresh air to watch somebody like yourself go out and really command the strike zone. I want to know about your mindset. Coming into a game like tonight, must-win game, to deliver, what's a mindset or to help a young pitcher who maybe is going to be in this moment get inside you a little bit?
Be aggressive. Yeah. Trust your stuff. Pitch.
Be in the zone. Sure.
Be in the zone, yeah. And attack, really. I mean, this is an incredible lineup that I was facing tonight, and I feel like when they scare you out of the zone and then make you come in and hitters counts, that's when you get in trouble and they're able to do damage. And so, they're 1 through 9, they're a bunch of smart hitters, and so you got to mix it up and continue to move their eyes all around the dish, inside, outside, up, down. And fortunately, we were able to do that tonight.
Biebs, I'm very proud of you. I remember first night you got called up in your first start in Cleveland, and it was awesome. I mean, you were so under pressure. You were so just calm during that night, and you were so calm tonight as well. You're from Orange County. Obviously, you went to Laguna Hills High School. How many tickets did you have?
I think I had 10 plus, and then, actually, credit where credit's due. The people close to me didn't even want to bother me, and a lot of them just went ahead and took care of it themselves. And I'm finding out now a bunch of people were here that I didn't know that they were going to be here, and I appreciate them so much. They know how big the World Series is, and how many people end up kind of asking you for tickets or trying to make that happen. And so those close to me and my buddies, I went to college an hour and a half north of here at Santa Barbara, and a bunch of my Santa Barbara boys were out here, and I was just catching up with them in the clubhouse via text. I'm so happy everybody was able to make it.
I've been behind you in the past playing defense, and I've just noticed how calm and quick you work. You want to put hitters away quickly. 11 of your 16 outs tonight were made with 3 pitches or less. Was that kind of that pressure or I guess mindset you wanted to go into early on, at least in this start?
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we found ourselves once we fell into a rhythm. I feel like it was a little bit of a grind to fall into a rhythm early, and they weren't chasing any pitches out of the zone. I was definitely having to come into the zone and make some quality pitches and some hitters counts, but kind of there in the middle innings was able to start getting ahead and establish a strike zone and sequence off of that. And so, credit to Kirky. He called a fantastic game. We had a great game plan coming in, and then being able to hand the ball off to the bullpen. What can you say about those guys after the job that they did last night? Fluharty, Chris Bassett. I'm such a big fan, man. I'm
36 years old.
I'm a fan of Chris Bassett amongst all the other guys, but I was letting him know in there, the job that he's doing is really special. He's a steady heartbeat in that clubhouse.
I was going to say that same thing and just get you to you guys are the ultimate ball club. Chris Bassett has been a starter all year long. To come back and to take on that role, what does it say about your team? I can just see that you guys are such a what we call a ball club. You guys are a ball club.
Yeah, we really are. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of. Yeah, it's so much fun. And if we're talking about Chris specifically still, the job that he's done to go from posting 170 plus innings, right, and then moving into the bullpen and not being on the ALDS roster, and then the outs that he's been able to grab in the CS and the World Series, and probably lean on him tomorrow too. So he looks fantastic. But all the guys, our lineup 1 through 9, missing George. George is such an impact bat and an impact player, and such a great leader, and for everybody to step up like they did tonight, I'm not surprised. I'm just very happy.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can't tell the story of Game 4 without talking about Game 3. I want to know, in the late stages last night, were you thinking there's a chance I'm in there in Game 3 and my start's gone tomorrow? Tell me what you were going through last night.
I thought so. I was the last guy out there, right? And it was like the 12th or 13th, and it was actually Max that came up to me. He was like, Biebs, he started that game, right? And he goes, can you pitch tonight? I said, yeah, I can't. Credit to Max. He's always thinking. He's always one step ahead, right? And he goes, well, all right. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go tell Schneids. I told Schneids and Pete, and they were like, yeah, absolutely. Put your cleats on. Just get warm. You're going to be last resort. And then we found ourselves down there. And obviously it didn't end the way that we wanted it to. But, I was ready to go last night. And I think, it's all happening how it should, and was happy to be able to make the start tonight.
I feel like we're going to be saying that if we get to a Game 7, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty fun to watch this from our spot. Confirm or deny, Shane, while we have you and before we let you go, the inspiration for the mustache, legendary Jays starter Dave Stieb. Is there anything to this? We're going to show you a split screen. I think it's pretty good. We on to something here or not?
Anything that makes me more like Dave, I'm in on. So I had it before I got traded over. But yeah, we'll roll with the Dave Stieb aspirations.
Drop a button and you're good. I love it. Appreciate you being on with us, man. Congratulations on a great night and good luck in the next couple of nights.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Let's go back into the press sound room where Dave Roberts is about ready to make his post-game comments. We'll listen in on the losing side after a Game 4 defeat.
Yeah, the microphone's right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Skipper, you're always talking about learning in every experience in every game. What did you learn from your experience so far in this particular series?
I think that we knew it was going to be a great series. This team is talented. They're resilient. Talking about the Blue Jays, and they came back fighting. Caught an early lead, and Bieber, does what he does and used the cutter, spun us, minimized damage, limited traffic, and we really didn't get a whole lot of good swings. And conversely, you see these guys. Grinding and using the whole field and putting some hits together. And obviously, the homer by Vlad and, that seventh inning, they built an inning right there, and we just didn't have an answer. So I think the takeaway is we saw Yusevich not too long ago, and so that's certainly information that we're going to use and expect Blake Snell to be better than he was in Game 1.
About 6 rows back on your left, Fabian.
Yeah, Dave, do you think there was any carryover offensively from last night? Just how long that kind of dragged on for guys?
I don't know. I think that you got to give credit to Bieber for making pitches, getting ahead. Those guys had the same kind of went through the same thing as we did. I felt like we were prepared tonight. Guys came in fresh, and starting off with a play from Kike in left field, I thought we had some good kind of energy early, and then it just kind of petered out a little bit.
I know I asked this the other night, but do you feel like offensively as a whole this postseason you've been able to find a good enough rhythm, or do you think there's still more that you guys haven't been able to tap into there?
We haven't found our rhythm. We haven't. It sort of draws dead at certain parts of the lineup and different parts. Different innings, different games. Guys are competing, certainly in the postseason. You're seeing everyone's best. But yeah, my hope is we regroup tomorrow, gather the information that we had from Yusevich, and keep him in the hitting zone and understand what that split does, which is certainly helpful. And when we get the fastball, really get on it.
One row closer, Dylan.
Dave, between the game last night, the 9 times getting on base, the heat today, how much do you think all that had an effect on Ohtani physically?
I don't know. Mark asked him in the 6th inning how much more he had. He said he had 3 more innings. So he's very, self-aware of his body. I thought the 6th inning was one of his best innings. And where he was at, the way the ball was coming out, I felt good, and just kind of happened right there where, Varsho gets a base hit, and then Clement hits a ball in the gap, and it just kind of happened right there where I just felt we needed to find a way to get a punch out, and trying to get Banda on three lefties. Obviously, they hit France right there at the top for Lucas, but yeah, he gave us a good effort. He really did.
Far back on your right, Bill.
Dave, you've talked off and on over the past couple of weeks about deciding, do you change the lineup, do you not change the lineup? As you balance patience versus now only 2 or 3 games left in your season no matter what, do you think it's time to maybe act on some of that?
I think so. I'm going to think long and hard, and it might look a little bit different tomorrow.
3rd row in the middle, Barry.
Hey, Doc, when we get used to, like, the last 2 games Ohtani played here, where he was spectacular? Is it kind of weird when he has a sort of a mortal night like tonight? He's good, but he's not outstanding the way he was the last couple of times.
He's mortal, but there's also a lot of energy, obviously, on the pitching exerted. But they made good pitches. You know, there were some backdoor cutters, some breaking balls, crowding him a little bit, and I thought his intent tonight at the plate was good. But you know, you look back at those at bats, they made good pitches on him. They really did.
Do you think it's unfair to put that much pressure on him to expect him to do those extraordinary things every night?
You know, I don't. I know he doesn't see it as pressure. I would say that's what he expects from himself. It's part of, you know, being a fan and seeing great things from great players. So you know, every time he steps up, I expect great things to happen, and maybe unfairly.
Do a couple last ones. Russ behind the camera there.
Doc, kind of the Bills question. You had to put Tommy in center field last night out of kind of necessity. Did you see enough to make you be comfortable with, you know, the actions out there to potentially put him out there?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to make a decision. Essentially, am I going to, you know, play Andy? Am I going to play Call, or am I going to play Miggy Rowe? So just kind of trying to think through all that stuff and net it out and see what, you know, gives us the best chance tomorrow.
One last one for Doc, if there is one. All right.
Like I always say, he's one of the best pitching and hitting. I mean, a ball player, you know, and but when we in the field, we gotta compete, and that's what I always try to do: compete for my city, compete for the team, and when you competing, something good happens.
I get that it's easy to write Ohtani versus Guerrero. To us, it's Toronto versus Los Angeles, you know. But that swing was huge, you know what I mean? That a sweeper is a pitch designed to generate pop-ups, in my opinion, and the swing that Vlad put on it was elite. And after last night and kind of all the recognition that went into Shohei individually, and he's on the mound today, it's a huge swing from Vlad. It's a huge swing to get us going.
The homer for Vlad is franchise leading 7th in World Series play, in postseason play. They've all come this year. And check this out. In terms of single postseason total base lists, only what Randy Arozarena did in the COVID year, and he was unconscious that year, only that stands as a higher total base count than the 50 that Vlad has put up. All of his hits in the series before Game 4, Jake, were singles, and we talked about it earlier. If the Jays are going to win the series, Vlad has to hit for power. He did just that.
Look, coming into this postseason, this guy had one homer in about the last 30 or so games, and we wondered what he was going to do. I believe the Blue Jays long-term signing this guy and really letting him know, hey, you are a guy not going anywhere, got him as motivated as ever coming into these playoffs to carry this team to the promised land, which he is single-handedly trying to do. With no George Springer in the lineup, we knew Vlad was going to have to produce this power, and again, shows up.
He welcomes the moment.
That's right.
I think when I look at him, he understands. He's been around baseball and Major League Baseball since he was born. So he understands the moment. It's just not too big for him. He's able to slow down the game. But I'm going to take you into that first at-bat, because I think the first at-bat of the game pretty much dictates what Ohtani's going to do to him. Starts him off with a fastball, but that's not really the storyline. The sweeper was the pitch that he wanted to get him out with. That's what John Schneider even said. The sweeper was the pitch. Into the second at-bat, after 3 pitches and a K, he starts him off with another baby slider, and Guerrero's saying at this point, okay, you might be throwing me the fastball, but it's really not about the fastball. It's about the sweeper. The spinner's got to be coming. I know he's thinking that. He's learned it from his dad. He's learned it from some of the greats. Sure enough, he gets that sweeper and lean on me when you're not strong.
Got him, coach.
Oh, that baby was crushed. But he's been in this moment where he understands what's happening. He's able to slow it down and really able to slow down what Ohtani's trying to do to him. And it doesn't matter if it's his fastball or the slider. He's slugging over 1,000 on non-fastballs. It doesn't matter. He wants these situations to happen because he knows he's going to produce, and he's answered the bell the whole postseason. Obviously, we saw it there with the total bases. But this is no secret, man. Yeah. This is the guy that needs to get going for them to continue, and he's proven it, and he's answered it.
We can drill down on the individual performances by the Jays. There were a lot of notable ones led by Vlad, but big picture here, Peeve. They came back after a gut-wrenching loss in 18 innings where they used the entire bullpen, had opportunity after opportunity to score in the extra innings, and a lot of people discounted them. They thought that that was the night that the Blue Jays were going to go away. What a bounce-back effort in Game 4.
This team is tough. And look, starting from the top, Lucas bouncing into the leadoff position with no George Springer. What's he do? Deliver 2 for 3 until he got pinch hit for there. But Ernie Clement, he's becoming one of my favorite players in the game. All he does is hit. Addison Barger, again, in the postgame, they asked him what he was going to do. He said, I'm going to find me a pitch and come unglued. I absolutely love this approach from this team. They do not back down from a challenge. Again, this is a ball club. Matty, they beat you 1 through 9, collective effort coming at you all night.
It was an interesting board that we just saw, too. And again, it's started by Vlad Guerrero. Teams that come back in Game 4s after losing in extra innings, they go on to do good things. They've got a healthier version of Bo Bichette, not 100%. Addison Barger had a couple of hits, lineup-wide contributions. We can't sleep on what you mentioned, Jake. The bottom of the order contributed in Game 4. That made all the difference tonight.
Yeah, 6 through 9. That was the key, right? In the World Series, we really haven't seen them do much. In the postseason, though, however, we've seen them do a lot. And for Guerrero and for Bichette and for all these guys in the top of the order to have success and have pressure situations where they've delivered, they need their guys from 6 through 9 to get on base, and they were able to do that today. They grind at bat. It just doesn't have to be a base hit. It doesn't have to be a walk. It's about grinding at bats and making that pitcher work as much as possible. So then when the guys do come on, they're ready to deliver.
6 runs on 11 hits for the Jays in the Game 4 win, including 2 by Addison Barger, who after the game visited with our Robert Flores.
Addison, after last night's loss and the length of the game, to come back and win tonight against that pitcher and this team, what does it say about your team?
Yeah, it's a testament to how well we've competed all year, 1 through 9 in the lineup. Yeah, we were pretty drained after last night. Who wouldn't be, I guess? But, you know, we took some pre-workout, had some coffee, and went out there and competed.
Describe your at-bat that brought in the run there in that big inning.
Yeah, it was just be aggressive first pitch, jump in the zone, and get it through the infield like I did. That was pretty much it for that. Just be aggressive and get them in.
Obviously, with this win, there's still another game tomorrow, but that is a guarantee that you guys are going back to Toronto for at least one. What does that mean?
That's huge for us. You know, we love playing there. That's our home. We'll be in front of our fans again. I'm sure they're excited for that, too. So I like our chances.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.